Hey everyone, good afternoon. Are you guys able to hear me and see me clearly? Hello, hello, hello. Give a quick thumbs up, guys, if you're able to hear me and see me clearly. Great, great. I can start saying thumbs ups over here. Good afternoon, Manchi. Good afternoon, Arun. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. All right. So we will start this session now. So I hope everybody is able to hear me and see me clearly. I want to thank you, all of you, to join this session on the weekend, and I'm sure it is going to be worth of your time, guys, because here we will be taking 1.5 hours, and we will be discussing about the exciting field of web development, and we will be having one of our alumni who will be talking about his experience, his challenges. So he has been working as software developer at Zing HR, and he will be joining in just half an hour once we are going to have some discussion around what is actually a web development we will be talking about. So feel free to utilize the platform. You can ask your questions in Q&A and interact in the chat as we go forward. So you have the chat in front of you. You can put up your thumbs ups. You can put up your questions there also. I will be taking those during the session, or you can put ask your question in the Q&A. So you can find Q&A inside of your chat section. Okay. All right. Now, I am Alok, your host, co founder at Alma Better, and I'm chief of learning over here. I am having 8+ years of experience in the field of tech and would like to show you what the field of web development is all about and how to make the best out of it. That's what the whole agenda of this session is. This session, I want that whoever has joined, they should be taking few of the things from this session as takeaway, and those are very important things: how to define a journey in this particular career path. So if you want to become a web developer, where does it start? Who all are called as web developers? And on top of it, what all important skills do you require to finally become interview ready or industry ready to kind of join the any company, right? So now to start it off, to give you guys, so you guys are interested, if you have joined this session, I'm sure that you guys have some idea about web development, some interest towards web development, and you want to understand it further, right? Arun, good question. This is something I will cover towards the end of this session. Okay. So, which one is better, web development, data science? And I'm sure as a fresher, this must be coming to most of you guys in your mind that which side I should be choosing on. So, first, I'll talk about what web development is, then see if it excites you, and then I'll give you the understanding of data science as well. And what are the key things you should be thinking about to differentiate whether web development or data science. Sounds good, right? So to give you the guys the perspective of importance of web development. So if I talk about 10 years back, right? 10 years back, there was a huge demand because there was no other tech field which people were aspiring to. Now you have AI, etc., etc. But right now you might not hear a lot about web development. Although you have seen a lot of courses, you have the understanding about applications, you are using softwares, you are using all the things around you. It's all about technology, what you interact with. All those are applications, some softwares which you are using, right? Although we are using it, but web developers, they are not mostly talked about because of other buzz career paths have come in the market. Now to keep give you guys the perspective of this, right? Web developers are the backbone of technology, and I will not shy away from telling this, that I have 8 years of experience in the machine learning engineering and working as DevOps and security. But I have interacted with web developers, what they do in the back end, in the front end, how do they manage the system, how complex things become. All those things you have to understand, that web developers are the backbone of the technology. Every website, every app, or any digital experience you use today, it is built by developers at the core. There might be other elements of AI, there might be other elements of different other roles, but to the core of it, what you interact with, developed by front end developers. Data, the interaction of data from the website. Let's say you go to Amazon, and when you are using it, in that case, the first thing which you do the login sign up, or you explore the products, or you search about it. Everything is built by developers. At the end there will be front end developers, there will be team of developers, and in that particular team you will have people from different roles, let's say front end developer, back end developer, DevOps engineer, and if you have some services or some feature of machine learning like recommendation system, then data scientists, they will also work together to develop this whole application which we talk about. But the person who will kind of give a life to it, that will be front end developers, right? They will get some instructions, this is how websites should look like, they will have some design, and based on that design they code it out so that all of us can interact with Amazon or any application. All of them are built by web developers. So it's very important skill, or it's so any person who is going to join the company as a web developer, they have very important role to play at the end, right? And for that you need to have certain skills, because it's a world of tech. It's a different world whether you are from non-tech, or if you have the understanding of IT, you might know all these most of things already, not in terms of learning or these skills, but the terminology which I'm talking about, like front end, back end, these things you might have heard about it earlier. For non-tech, if I give you the perspective, so front end developers, they design the website ka front, right? How logo, how anything which is placed, any banner do you see, all those things are coded by front end developers, right? Now these are, as you will be kind of working on something which user will be interacting with, and other user can be any customers, internal people, different other customer, different types of customers. Either it will be, let's say in case of Zomato, if I give you an example, you have your own app, restaurant they have their own app, and delivery partners, their app is different. So there will be different types of users, and there will be different systems which web developers they have coded it out, right? Now, to talk more about it, to give you guys more perspective around it, as I mentioned, we have our alumni who will be joining. So Vishal, Mr. Vishal will be joining. After we have talked about the scales and all those things, he will be kind of talking about his journey and giving you guys a very clear understanding about, even if from non-tech, how do you transition? Because he is the example of from non-tech, he what all grit it requires, and what do you focus on, how do you take yourself every day when you find it challenging. That's something Vishal will be talking about towards the end. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead with our next part, and that is agenda. I have talked about it at length, but I'll give you in a very brief, summarized version what all things we will talk about. First, the opportunity, giving you more perspective about what's the opportunity looks like. Then next is the roadmap which you guys have should follow if you want to get into the field of web development. What should be the roadmap of yours? How does your career path looks like? How, what all skills you should be focusing on? All those things will come under roadmap of for to become a web developer. Then role of alma mater, of course, we have certain programs which is complete in itself. We have given so much thought about it, and that thought you will kind of feel when I will be talking about the curriculum. I will explaining you what and why all those things are required, where it is applied, also in a very brief kind of synopsis of what you will be getting in a bigger program, because it takes time. When you are going to play an important role, it takes a time of 6 to 8 months. It cannot happen in 10 days or 15 days, right? It takes time. So those all things I will be giving you a synopsis of everything. Lastly, Vishal's story, and we will be ending with Q&A. Q&A, very interesting question asked by Arun, very important question as well. And there will be a few questions, like I'm sure it should be coming in your mind, whether AI will replace tech people or developers, how, what's going to be the role of AI in the market. And on top of it, there must be different other roles about your current stream, from non-tech or from non-engineering, whatever it is, please throw it here so that your questions are answered, you have clear path in your mind, and this is going to be worth of your time. Okay, now let's go ahead introducing the panel. Already we have done it. Me, I'm Alok, and Vishal will be joining in few minutes, and then we have enough experience for you guys to help you out, to ensure that you have a clear direction. Okay, now let's talk about the opportunity. And very interesting question again, Tejas, I'll talk about it. Okay, I'll talk about it. Everything has its own side, right? Everything has its own side. and I will put my words also for this thing. You have mentioned it. It's very good. All right. Now, let's start with the other side of the story. I have talked about your role where you will be working as backbone of technology in any company. And the other side is what's the demand? So you are very important in company, but is there any demand? Do you just need one or two-person in a company, or is there a demand in this world right now which is growing, or do you will have the opportunities, enough opportunities to kind of get inside this career path to start your career, right? So the first thing is India, its economy, majority of it is built on tech. Services, we do provide services, but you have to understand the scale of it. Whatever comes, right? AI, everything, whatever comes, India has that infrastructure already built. It's not easy for any company or any other country to adopt this particular wave which we have captured, right? In the past 10-15 years, you can go and search it on YouTube. You just understand what's the role of India right now in the whole core of tech for the world's application that is being run. All the companies right now, they are online, be it any small company. So when I'm saying company, wherever organized setup is right now being built in, it's going to be online. There will be applications, there will be tech involved over there. And if every company requires it, right? After a certain level, every company requires it. And nowadays, most of the new companies are internet first, right? Before they think about any infrastructure or product, they have some applications, they have some kind of websites and etc etc, which they use for different other purposes to showcase to the world that we exist. And now internet is the important place, is the most important place. In when before people do offline marketing, they go ahead and do the online marketing on different platforms, different channel, social media, etc etc. It's a plethora of things now, how you can reach out to your customers. So companies now, they are built as internet first, right? They will have their application first over there to showcase to the world. And India contributes to right now 40% of global IT development. 40%, it's a very big number. To give you perspective, 40% of India. Rest, there are so many countries. There are so many countries, including US, including UK, which are Russia. All these countries, they are not into the global IT development. The reason, one of the major reason is the wages, the pay parity. Of course, all these things are there. But at the core of it, India started it 15, 20 years back when companies like TCS, Infosys, all those companies, they started working as global giant service companies in IT sector. And that has now trickled down to generations over generation. It's not easy to get that level of organization or that level of organized understanding in your team or in any generation if it has not seen enough iterations, right? That's how it works. So currently India has so much of workforce that it can fulfill more than even 40%, but at the end of it, we contribute to the majority chunk of global IT development. It's going to be there. Exports total over 194 billion. There are so many things, 50K plus IT jobs in India. It's something where every year, as new companies are coming in, more and more internet based companies are coming in, people need developers as the backbone, right? People need developers. Now, I will talk about how AI will affect. You might have this in mind right now, how AI affects this field, what all things you need to learn extra to stand out. All those things I will take later. But at the core of it, if there are IT jobs, at the end, there will be developers. There will be significant number of developers in any company, and there will be other IT roles. It's not just developers, right? Inside IT role, there are a lot of other IT roles. Maybe your role will have some added skills which you need to work on, but your at the end, it's going to be always thriving. It's going to be there as long as the world of tech is. Now, going to the next part, just wanted to give you the global perspective, the demand of this. Next, I want to talk about your at the core, what we do. Let's say, as a developer, if I am a developer, what am I going to do? right? Lot of people, when they hear about web developer or front end developer, lot of people, when they start it, then they start thinking about this field, they think about that it's a website development, right? You just create a website. That's what the web development is, right? And I'm not joking over here. It's something which is very clearly or very widely misconception. There are there are different WordPress, Wix, certain applications are there. People think that because of these applications, web developer role will go down, because you can create websites very easily using those softwares or SaaS platforms. But the issue here is, it's not just what we do. Our job is not just to develop the website. Our job is to develop the application. Any website, if I talk about Alma Better's website only, it's not just the website which we have created. There is a whole lot of application part goes on. Who visited our website, you do the login and then sign up. After login and sign up, you do interaction with the website, you go from one page to another, all those things to design. It's not just website development. Website developments are like Wikipedia, right? That is a simple example of simple website that is there. You can click and you can access the information. Of course, I'm here, the millions and million people are using that. That itself it become very complex, but at the core of it, there are not lot of interactions which you do over there. But on the other hand, if you talk about application, when it becomes, right, applications, when it becomes an application, you don't work as a just to create the website. Rather, all these websites which I'm talking about, these are the applications, like Instagram, like Facebook, like YouTube. These are the applications which web developers they work on. There will be a front end of it, Amazon, Flipkart, all these applications you interact with. All these are developed by, and this is what the work of developers are. It's not just website development, it's just the 0.01% of the job. There is a whole lot of different other aspects which you, so let me, if I give you our website's example, just showing you for a minute, right? So here all these buttons, do you if you see, if I click, it takes me somewhere. If I click over here, it takes me to a different page. Then it, I'm going to put my name over here, it gets stored somewhere. All these things, it's not just a simple website which is created. There is an application that is created over here, and to create that application, you need to have certain skills. Those are must have. Do you see? Now we have, let's say, two things coming up over here. When I click over there, there is something coming as a pop-up. All these are part of application that is designed, right? So it's not just website development. Next time when you think about this role, think from this perspective, that it's not just the website, it's the application that is created. Now, what else do we do, right? As a developer, what else do we do? So first thing, automation and efficiency inside, for the internal company. Like I told about, like I mentioned, right? There is an application for delivery boy, there is an application for restaurant, right? There must be some application for the internal employees. There is an app for the customers. So all these different things, right, it brings in automation and efficiency in the system. Imagine if there is no app for delivery boys, it will get all messed up, right? It will get all messed up, because for them also it will be very difficult, where I have to go, how who is the right customer, all those things, it will be very difficult for them. So you bring in efficiency in the system by doing the automation, as well as creating different applications and platforms to streamline the process. Next thing is data management. So when you are interacting, whatever you are doing, you are writing here in chat, all these things getting stored, right? This data is being managed. If you come after 4 or 5 days, then also this chat is here, although session has ended, because this data is being stored, it is being managed. Now it cannot be like a dump without any structure. There has to be some structure given to it. There has to be some logic behind it, which you learn, which is an essential part of becoming a developer. So those all things you have to do. That's going to be your part of life. Next, very important points over here: security and reliability. Now your website, whatever you have written as a code, whatever you are thinking right now to develop, you have to think from that perspective. What will happen if lot of people, millions and millions of people are going to come concurrently? right? Whether my system will be able to handle it or not. Next part is you will think about, okay, if my website, how much time it takes to load, right? So all those things you will kind of think about in these two categories where I talked about the reliability. If a lot of people are coming in, whether your website will sustain or not. How secure your website is. There is a data, your backend, and etc. etc. If data is, let's say, in any way, if it can be accessed, it's something which will come on you that as a developer you have to think about it. There are APIs, your API is private or public, or what are the endpoints. Lot of thinking goes over there. You might not understand API right now, but that is very core to the development which you will learn while you go through the process of it. Next is user experience and accessibility. So at the end of it, user experience is determined by, on internet if I talk about, right? User experience is determined by how well your overall website front end, your experience of clicking, going and loading the system, how much time it is taking to load, as I was talking about. All these are the factors to determine whether user will have good experience or not. If no matter how good or beautiful your website looks, if it takes time to load, everything will go in drain, right? It will not make any sense. So all those things you have to think from that perspective, that how you can ensure that user experience is best, how you can ensure that all the processes you are creating applications over there, what all data is being generated, how it is managed, how it is stored in a structured manner, how it can retrieve and store all those things simultaneously. Then security, reliability, all these things are something which developers are going to be part of. There will be a journey. You will, so overall as a developer I'm talking about, there will be a team of 30, 40, 50. In worst case scenario, always you will have a team of 4 to 5, 6 people in the small scale startup. As you grow, number of people working in tech, it grows as big as 20, 30, 100, 200, 500 people working over there. And what they do, they try to work on these four things in some way or the other to ensure that the front store of the company, or the front of the company, it is seamless and giving the best experience to the user who is coming to the website. Now, going to the next part. So let's say if you feel that your overall, what they do, you are interested in that, you feel that this is something which you can do. Next thing which you need to understand is the revolution of AI. Is it going to be there in terms of web development jobs, if there will be any downwards over there at the end of it, based on what you will see as a trend. And Varun will also, Vishal will also join after some time, and he's going to talk about his journey and what is his take, because he has been working as a developer now. What's the role and how much, what's his view on that, because it's important for you guys to understand the part of that, whoever is working as a developer to the core of it, how they understand about the complexity of AI being, taking the job and replacing the developers. But at the end of it, what is going to be there in the future is it will create more IT jobs. Because if AI will come, more and more things will become internet based. And as I was mentioning, if something is internet based, then in that case, there always be some kind of efficiency, automation, application that will be developed, and that will increase the IT jobs. And not just in IT jobs, later on it will be the combination of IT plus AI understanding, cyber security, prompt engineering, etc., etc. All those things will come as a extra skill which you need to have on top of the current scenario, may whatever it is needed. Because as we go forward, if AI is going to get into the role, you need to understand, you need to have the understanding about all those, right? And it's, of course, it's going to be there. Our take is that automation of repetitive roles will go away. Roles where things are very repetitive in nature, that's something AI and code can do. After some time, you will see most of the things which will be taken up by AI will be repetition, where repetition is done. No thought process is given. So more and more shift towards thought process, more and more shift towards thinking, and then kind of implementing the solution will come out. Not just what you are being told you have to do. You will always be in that part of thinking, more pushed because of AI. And reskilling, that's why reskilling becomes critical. So in this field, it's going to be so important. After all, you have to keep on upskilling because it is changing in a very rapid manner. There are a lot of, you can, like in just 1 month itself you can see that market went down because of DeepSeek, because of all the rivalries. Right now it has now gone to the level of countries, that if any country has command over AI, they will win in the longer race. All those things are coming up, and it is changing to the core of it. You might hear just one or two words, but you will see the now coding languages, they have also upgraded themselves, right to the core of IDE coding languages. The system of cloud, AWS, everything is changing in a very rapid manner, right? Everywhere you will see that there is a touch of AI coming in, which helps you at the end if you know how to use it. That's how it goes. Now, going to the next side. So you guys have now understood that there is a growth, right? There is a growth over here in the IT jobs. Now, what are different roles and how does your role path looks like, right? So if I talk about your starting of the journey, in most of the scenario you will start your journey as front end development. That's how it goes, right? In lot of cases, in lot of scenarios, there can be other roles, I'm not denying that, but the majority of the roles as a web developer, your journey will start with a front end development. Like in other roles, there is a start point. Here also you will start with front end development, where you are going to use your understanding, your knowledge of different stacks. So when I say stacks, there is like React JS, Next.js, you have Angular JS also. So all these different things are there. You should know now in this kind of time where these are the requirement by the companies, and you will be working on creating application. If you're working, then you will be starting your journey with front end development, right? Next, when you go little bit, further into your years of experience, when you are having, let's say, 3 to 4, 5 years of experience, slowly you get into the back end side as well. You have now enough experience. So front end developers, they always work very closely with back end developers. And during your course of experience itself, you yourself will start getting into back end development as well. Understanding now, when I say back end development, that's where your most of the data, how it will be stored, right? How API interaction will be done, how some of the login authentication will be done. So all those things are handled by backend developers, right? That is something where it requires the experience, because that becomes another core thing which you need to think for a long term perspective. And as data is being stored, lots of cost is also involved with the company, so they have the experienced folks over there kind of to take it forward, right? And you get into system design. So there is a whole bunch of system, right, which is there designed by developers, by engineers, how data will be stored. Then after that, from that data, how next action will be done. When that action is done, then where data will be stored. After that, how data scientists are going to access the data, etc., etc. All these is a part of system design. How do you design your system, right? That's something which you start doing. Next, when you go after, let's say, 5 6 years of experience, you get into large scale system design. Now think the scale of Instagram, right? So many millions and millions of people are using that app, and in that app itself there are hundreds and hundreds of features, right? You have stories, you have this, you have likes, you have comments, you have DMs, you have etc etc. There are so many things, followers, itne sare cheezon mein. How do you kind of store the data, manage things? And when millions and millions of people are using it at a certain point, you have to be very smart on how to design this whole thing. And that's what you learn. You learn starting may you understand the basics of it, but as you go forward, you see the practical application of that, you become more confident about, okay, I can design large scale systems. When you work with senior people, senior managers, so that's where you, when you go into 5 plus years of experience, you start having the confidence about, okay, I can design the large scale system. I can contribute into, let's say, if there are any features, how do we design it in a way so that it's there for the long term and it's modular, so that I don't have to change again and again. And how, if a lot of people are using it, how it will turn out. So all those things you will have in your mind in terms of designing it. And when you go to more years of experience, as it is, it's going to be executive roles where you are going to be reaching towards. There are certain roles like, so front end developer. Sometimes you will have very stack specific role, React developer. So React JS is a stack, it's a language which you use, it's a part of a MERN stack. so which you use to develop the web application, the front end side of it. So people generally they give React developer direct as a role, but front end developer kind of takes on all the individual stack wise roles. It comes under front end development itself. Then you have soft dev engineer. Now this is also a different side of the same story. When you are as a junior, when you are working as a software developer, you will kind of start it with front end developer itself. Is just a role which company defines. A lot of times company defines as SD level 1, SD level 2, like that, and that's how you proceed forward in the tech overall ladder or career in that company. Now, backend developer, this is also, as I mentioned, with years of experience, you deal with backend. DevOps engineer, now this is also something which is very interesting. So when you go into system design and large scale system design, these all are kind of require the understanding of DevOps, right? These all will require the understanding of DevOps over here, where as a DevOps engineer, you say that from the laptop where you are developing the system to next how it will go to people who can access it. There is a system over there from development to deployment. There is a whole flow. It goes to GitHub. You might have heard about it. Then after GitHub, you can how it will be deployed on cloud, etc., etc. There is a whole flow towards it. That's what DevOps engineer do, and it's a very key part to the whole system design. And full stack developer, you become full stack developer after 3 to 4 5 years, mostly when you have worked in startup kind of scenario where you have seen everything in a very small period of time. You become a full stack developer as the role given by the company. You have the understanding, you can do front end as well as you can do back end, both, when you call yourself full stack developer. Now, this is what I wanted to give you guys as the opportunity, right? So first we started with India as a whole. You have opportunities over here. Then you understood about what developers do, and then we talked about the demand of it. What's going to be your path? You start with front end development, you go to more into back end, becoming a full stack, and then after that you become manager, and then you start designing large scale systems so that it is reliable and there is all the angles of security, etc., etc., is being looked at. Now, further, if I talk about the roadmap to start your career, because today we are talking about how do you start your career in this, right? Drilling down in that, there are only four things which you have to keep in mind, right? Whenever you're thinking about it, you have to think about only four different categories, and in each category, mostly in this particular category, second category, I'm going to deep dive more about it. So what companies want at the first core of it, I have mentioned you from my experience of working with so many hiring partners, as well as working with companies and experts for the content, etc., etc. A lot of people, they working as instructor, they have the experience. So whatever we have kind of got it from them, that's something which I'm talking about right now. I'll be talking about in skills, but you also have to understand this very clearly, that what companies want. Understand about this, right? Do the research from your end as well, so that you are also very sure about this is what I'm getting into. Overall, this whole journey, it's not going to be done in 7 8 days. It takes 6 to 8 months to kind of get that confidence, and it might take 1 or 2 months extra to get the job, start your career. It requires that grit and the kind of believe in the start, right? That's why these all sessions we do, so that you guys have the understanding at the end. So what companies want, that's something you have to understand very clearly, right? And when I say what companies want, where does it start? When you have to appear for interview, you should know that what's the structured skills which I need. So finally clear that interview. You should not focus on something too much, wasting your time, rather kind of dividing your focus on the important skills in a right manner, right? So what's first thing is what companies want. Then next part is build skills that matter, right? So at the end, as I mentioned, lot of time I have seen, personally I have seen that people, they focus, let's say, on advanced DSA a lot, right? There are concepts, people think that if I don't know graph, I won't be able to get selected. You need DSA to a certain level. You do not need advanced level of DSA as a fresher. You need a certain level only. And there are concepts like array, string, search, sorting, linked list, recursion. All these are important, but There are a lot of other concepts which might take months to master, but it will not give you enough result at the end. So that is also something which you have to keep it in mind. Build skills that matter. That's why it is written that matter. You have to focus on the all round understanding so that you can call yourself web development. Not just if you can solve few questions of DSA, it's not enough. You have to get into the MERN stack, the development side, the front end development using MERN stack. How do you do? When I say MERN stack, it's like MongoDB, ExpressJS, React.js. I will talk about that in just some time, right? Cloud, you should know about Azure or AWS, some one cloud to the basic of it, so that when you start your journey, you should not be, getting surprised. Okay, this I have never understood or never seen it. You should know there is a cloud. How do you deploy all those things? As a front end developer, there is a certain extent of exposure which you need. Even for back end development, you might not be working actively, but you need that exposure to talk to the team, to talk to about your requirements. Then credential that stand out. You need some kind of credentials portfolio to kind of put it in your resume, and then secure your final job at top companies, right? It's important to show some institutions, IIT, and etc etc. That gives a weightage. At the core of it, portfolio is also something which I would like to highlight over here, that if you have enough portfolios, if you have worked on a lot of projects also, that also kind of stand out in front of any interviewer, right? So that's how you have to proceed forward. Skills, work on projects, get enough credibility in your resume, start applying, and you will start getting now interviews. You have to have mock interviews, you have to have career guidance. All those things are there. Overall, if you combine these four, at the end, it's not something which is going to be tough or impossible. You will see every day win. At the end, in 6 to 10, 8, 10 months, you will see yourself becoming confident that you can do it, and you will do it. Next, let's talk about the now all of these what we have discussed. This is something I wanted to give you guys as a wholesome picture. Now, what's the role of alma better? We do have the program, how we think about it. Now, at the end, here, what you can do is, you will have, if you want to have a structured learning, there is a website per curriculum. You can see all the topics also we have mentioned which are important. So however you want to go forward, at least cover these topics. So you have JavaScript say coming in, then you have other things I'll talk about, but these topics are something which will help you become a ready for interviews and for the companies. These topics are super important, right? So I'll come to the website. I'll just talk about that in a minute. So what program we have done and what experience we have got until now, there are certain important things which you guys have to look at and ensure that those things are covered. So it starts with, you need to spend at least 3 to 4 months on the first part, that is JavaScript and front end development. And then you need to have 6 to 8 months almost for back end development and your deployment. So 4 months, good 4 months for, in fact, it can go till 5 months also, because this is something which is super, super important. And you need to have the exposure of 1 or 2 months it will take to get the basics of backend development and deployment. When I say deployment, it's like when you write the code, and when it is after writing the code, when it is available for the users, available for everybody outside. So that's what the deployment is. So after that, we have few electives which we have added very recently. AI for developers, DevOps and security, system security, technical product management. So for this new, we earlier had the electives of Web3, Java, etc., etc. Those things are there on the platform. On top of it, we are looking forward to bring these three electives in next. Uh, I think in from the month of March batches, they will have the access for these content, right? So this AI for developers, why we have put it, I mentioned it already. Now AI is being integrated in the system. How do you make the best out of it, and in what all scenarios AI is something which you will be interacting with, maybe as a API, as a service, or you are using it to get the code, how to write the optimized code using AI. So all those things we will be talking about in this particular elective. And then we have DevOps and system security, which I told you, security, you guys understand. DevOps is from development to deployment, and then technical product management. Now, lot of companies, they have started asking about the front end developers I need. Our hiring partners, they're asking that front end developers I need, but they should have the understanding of little bit of UI UX design as well, right? So that they can understand it well. They can even think beyond the developer, UI UX developer. UI UX developer, what they do, they are kind of like, before website you start coding it out, somebody will design it, right? Kind of like this, somebody will design it, give it to you, and then you are going to code all these things individually. That okay, this is what the color looks like, but when I'm going to write HTML CSS, then in that case I have to write some code to achieve this kind of box, and whatever is written over here, the colors, the size, etc., etc., all those are now kind of derived from the design and then developed by all the front end developers, right? So that technical product management is one step prior to your development starts, where you discuss with the team, you understand the requirement, you kind of create that design, and then using that design you take it forward and do the development. That understanding also, lot of companies now they have started asking for, right? Now what I'm going to now next show you is, if you started as a very beginner, right, as a fresher, you want to start your career in this. Let's say you have decided that this looks very exciting, I should be kind of becoming the backbone of tech. So if I want to get into that, then in that case, how you should be proceeding forward every step of the way, right? So in our course, let's say what we have, the program which we have got, certification in full stack web development, we try to design this in a way so that freshers they can start their journey from the very basic, reach to a certain level where they are confident enough to start their career. And in the during the journey, right, which they are going through from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1 is when you have gotten the job, you started your career. So from in that particular journey, enough exposure should be given to right things, as I mentioned, you build skills that matter, right? So enough emphasis, enough focus should be given on certain things, and looking at that, it's a whole program of 6 to 8 months which you are going to go through. It will take you time, and of course you will have resources, you can do it from anywhere. But the topics which I'm talking about, these are the super important things which you need to learn. Now here, you guys need to understand one more thing very clearly, that when you design the application, web application, there are multiple different ways of doing it. You might have heard about, you can use JavaScript. You can use JavaScript. If you use JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and on top of it, you have the MERN stack. This stack you can use to develop the application, where MERN is MongoDB, React, and then you have after that MERN, ME, so Express.js, React.js, and then Node.js. So MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. These are the languages which you need to learn to develop the application. Now, this is one of these stacks. You can use Java Springboard to develop the full website, right? You can have along with HTML CSS, that is one of the your stack. You can use PHP as well. You can use Python Django as well to develop your website. So all these different options are there. Every company they choose it based on their comfort, based on their understanding. But now what trend do we see? Earlier in, let's say, 1990s or early 20s, mein, most of the websites were built on PHP. But now nobody is using PHP. Now people have moved towards JavaScript, and there you have MERN stack, either MERN stack or mean stack. These are used to develop the application. Now when I say MERN stack, as I mentioned, MongoDB for the backend database where data is stored. Express.js is to interact with how your APIs will be called, how your data will be coming in. That's what Express.js will do. You have React.js for the front end. All these things you see over here, all these things you are able to visualize, these all which you see, all these are developed by or written in React.js. And then you have Node.js, which helps you further design the API and kind of work with the backend system, your AWS cloud and everything to get the data, right? So now, to understand and to learn all these, we have 5 modules. Very simply, if I have to tell you, the initial 2 modules, right? The initial 2 modules, when you go through, this is your JavaScript. Mod stack is all about the core. First, you need to understand is JavaScript. That's one of the language in web development. And that's a very important language in web development. So you learn JavaScript. JavaScript helps you make your website interactive. Like as I mentioned in your let's say Wikipedia, you cannot interact much, But when you come to any other application, you can search, you can click on something, then it will take you to another page, etc., etc. All these interactions are kind of governed by JavaScript as a language. So these two, you learn JavaScript, and using JavaScript itself, you learn DSA. Now, in companies, they are not, most of the 99.9% of the companies now we interact with, they are not concerned about which language you are using for DSA. You will search in on internet, it will tell you, somebody will tell Python, somebody will say Java, somebody will say it doesn't matter. The answer is, actually it does not matter for the companies. For 99% of the companies, it does not matter which language you are using to solve the DSA problems, as long as you are able to solve it. When I say DSA, it is data structures and algorithms. So data structures and algorithms, it's all about like how do you write the code for arrays, strings. Arrays are set of numbers. Just understand this as collection of elements or collection of numbers. And you have your strings, the text which we mention, how it will be stored, how you can solve problems over there, pattern matching, etc., sorting, searching, recursion. These are things which are important for you to kind of learn. And you can use JavaScript. You have to strengthen your JavaScript as much as possible. Then you have front end development. So when we talk about front end development, React JS is something which is going to be important. You understand the basics, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. This is also something standalone you can use to develop the application. But if you want to make it more advanced, you need to understand jQuery, you need to understand Next.js, Advanced React, everything over here which is mentioned as a topic. It's something which is important to understand. Not touching on everything. You will search about front end development, uh, internet or everywhere, you will get, let's say, 100 of the things. But there are some important things, if you cover, you are good to start with. Then backend development, as I mentioned, APIs, databases, everything, web services, you can see Node.js in depth we'll talk about. So MongoDB, as I mentioned, the M of MERN stack, that is something, that is the language to manage the non-relational databases. So that is something which will be covered over here. Then the last module 5, we kind of collect everything to create a full scale application. You should know at the end, even if you're not going in depth of the practical scenario, but in theoretical way, if you want to design, if you have the understanding, you are good to start with. You understand when your backend developer will come to you and tell you that this is what is being done, this is how it works, you will understand what he is talking about. That's why it is important at the end that at a exposure level, you need to design from backend to front end, everything once for one application or two application. It will give you a lot of confidence. Although the start of the journey as a fresher, it's going to be front end development, and you should not think twice about it, because this is how it progress. You start with front end, you get the understanding of how front end works, then you get into more into back end, how APIs works, how cloud works, you get into DevOps, and then slowly large system design, and then at the end you are going to get to the final 10 plus years of experience, where you have done this, where you have got enough experience of as a whole. Now, this is what the initial start, if you want to take up, right? That's how it goes. Now, accreditation, everything you can go about and look at it how it works. Next part is, if I go to the next part, certain things which we kind of uh, cover over here: live interactive session, live doubt supports, placement opportunities, etc., etc. All of these, when you go through the website, you kind of understand, right? You kind of get here that all these mentorships, placement opportunities which you need, personalized mock interview which you need on top of it, and over on top, you need to have the communication ready. So that's the placement part which we cover. So placement, you need to have the way how you talk to your interviewer. You need to understand that very clearly, that communication is super important. That's what we also focus during this whole journey, that hard skill, soft skill. Soft skill also should be at par for you to become confident during the interview. Now, there is a Almix, which we will be talking about. This is a career service program. So in this case, once you complete foundation track, you get into career services, deeply into, you get into the PAP. And then once you go through 1 to 3 months of rigorous training over there, then you get the placement at the end. So you start your program, you get into Almix, in career services, and then at the end you are going to get the placement. So it goes on for 6 to 8 months, 1 to 3 months, and then overall in 10 to 11 months you will have the opportunity which you start. Given that your pace of learning, you go ahead with the classes and you are going through that, although the program in itself is very much flexible, which you can find it on the website, right? So that is what the role of Alma Better which we are going to play, what we have got it in last 4 to 5 years, how it should be designed, interacting with companies. That's how we work, right? That's how we work at the end, that we should be solving for the first job, where as a fresher, if you want to get into this field, not just the technical skill, in technical skill it should be structured, it should be in a way that in shortest period of time how much you can learn. And then other part is, how do you get the opportunities, how do you polish yourself so that when you get the opportunities you are right there, right? You are there confidently sitting having interaction with interview. So that's what the journey overall goes at Almabet. Now, that is all from my end. Of course, we'll again talk about in Q&A. I'll be considering all the questions which you guys have mentioned. Now let's hear from the person. Let's hear from the Vishal. he will be talking about he will be talking about his journey. So he's right now working as software developer at Zing HR. I will be now calling him on stage. He will interact with you guys. You can ask him questions as well. It will be a good interaction about his journey, why he chose web development as a career, and then on top of it, what were the challenges. He will start his journey. You will understand that he started from a non-tech and put his whole heart and soul into this to kind of do what he is doing right now. All right. So let me bring Vishal now on stage. Hey, Vishal, looking dashing
Hey,
here. How are you
thank
doing?
you. I'm good. Alok, thanks for inviting me here. How's
All
you?
right. So, Vishal, all of you guys, please give a quick thumbs up. Vishal, he is right now, as I mentioned, he's working as software developer at Zing HR. He will be taking you guys through the journey which he has gone through. I will come out of my I will come out of this stage. Please take it forward, Vishal. It's all on you.
Sure.
Stage is all yours. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hey, hi everyone. Hey, hi. So I'm starting with my basic introduction. I'm Vishal, and I am completed my graduation in BCom, that is on open learning. And apart from that, I have experienced in insurance industry, insurance sales, and currently I'm working in as a software developer in Zing HR. So, uh, okay. So, any of you having any questions related to this field or how to start? So you can ask me. Okay. So let me tell you guys why I have chosen web dev as a career. So when in 2023, I was working as a insurance advisor. So I was like I'm not ready to do insurance work in insurance industry in my whole life, and I was looking for the career opportunity where I can start a career with a good earning source and good demand as well. So I was looking for the courses, like I studied lots of courses like data science and machine learning and cloud computing too. So I found that being a non IT guy, so it would be quite uh, tough for me to understand the technical concepts in those courses. Then I found web dev, where I researched that in entering in this web dev field is quite easy, and as a non IT guy, and you don't need much backend, much experience in that, much IT knowledge in that, entering in that field. and and at the same time, this field is quite impressive, and uh, there is lots of demand of developers in this field. So I thought I choose web dev as a career. So why in my journey, in my whole journey, I faced lots of challenges there. Like as a non IT guy, it is so much difficult for me to understand the concepts. So in the beginning I found that uh, uh, like I was not able to understand the VS Code and the technical tools which are being used in the field. So well, I was connecting alumni letter. Okay, in the field. So uh, all some topics were quite going away from my head, and sometimes I feel like I should quit this learning and go back to the insurance industry. But then I control myself and tell that why all I have started this. So uh, then I came back and start preparing, and and now currently I'm working as a software developer here in Zing HR. uh, and telling you about my journey in Alma Mater. So how I found Alma Mater. So I when I decided that I should go with the web development course, so I was looking many institutes. There are many institutes available in the markets which provides a month tech development course. So but there is one thing in those institutes, like some of them has eligibility criteria, like if you are from a non-IT background, then you can't be joined there. And if you are uh, and if you are and there is some their criterias and their study material are not properly structured. Then I found Alma Better, and I found it's quite impressive, and their fee structure, and it is open for all. So there is no background eligibility criteria is there. So I decided to join Alma Better. And in Alma Better, so in the starting I was it was not easy. Some things like when your co-learners are from IT background and you are from non-IT, then there is a left out feeling comes in the picture. But this should not but you should be prepared for that. And one the most attractive thing I like about Alma Better is they have capstone projects. Like whenever you complete your one module, like front end or back end, there is a concept called capstone projects. Like if you complete the front end, then they give you a capstone project in which you need to work on an industry based project and with your co-learners. So this is the thing I like about Alma Better the most. And after that, after completing the front end back end all modules, we I went to Alma X, where I worked on my self confidence and mock interviews, and I prepared DSA there, and started starting receiving interview calls. And after, I guess, 3 or 4 companies I gave interview, and one of them I got selected. So that's all from my side. And one more thing I wanted to tell you guys, how to start as a non-IT guy to or from IT background, whatever whichever your background is. If you want to start, then make sure that there should not be any backup option. Like if you have any backup option, then you won't be able to work properly and passionately. You should make in your mind that you have only one option and you need to stick on that. And all this will not happen in one day, but this will happen in a day, and this will happen in one day. So that's all from my side. If you guys have any questions, so you can ask, and meanwhile I'm inviting Alok Anand to joining.
Hey Vishal, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And very interesting aspects you have mentioned, right? Where you mentioned about you kind of thought about other roles, right? Data science and
Yeah,
cloud engineer, something like that, right? Around that roles,
yeah,
DevOps you have done, but you finally chose IT or web development as a role, right?
yeah.
You found it easy to get into this, is it?
No, actually, it was from those things. Like if you wanted to enter in data science or cloud computing, you should have a basic knowledge of IT field, and I was not having that technical background. So I thought web development should be a better option for me.
Got it. So this is something where we will start with. I'll take one of the question, right? Somebody
Yeah,
mentioned that what should I choose, right? Because that very important point you have mentioned. Now, when you think about, let's say, web development and data science, at the end of it, it totally depends upon what's your interest. At the end, it lies, right? You
yeah,
kind of explore. You think about, okay, there are some stacks over there. There are some requirement over here. At the end, it's going to be your choice. But if I want to give thought over there, what should be the framework which you should be evaluating on, right? I feel that in case of web development as a front end developer, when you start it off, right,
mhm,
you have certain skills where coding is having the most of the weightage,
yes,
right? The core coding, let's say if you learn JavaScript as a language, if you learn React.js, other languages which you are going to learn to make a complete MERN stack developer, then in that case, your code part is the maximum over here, right?
yes,
Other side, when we go to, let's say, data science, right? So in that case, you need to have the understanding of mathematics little bit, right? You need to understand about how business works a lot, right? Because business understanding is something during interview it is asked, right? Case study side of it. If you
yeah,
are not just looking forward to, okay, I am going to be fully devoted in coding, rather I will also be communicating with stakeholders. I will be kind of working with business folks as well, marketing folks as well. That's what that data scientist does, right? They have the
yeah,
data, they take the data and they drive out the insights. Now there is a vague part where the insights as well as the communication, the mathematics, the experimentation, that part is something which is extra in terms of data science, right? In web
yeah,
development, or so to say in any tech field related to development, front end, back end, your most of the focus is on coding at the end of it, right? Lot of focus is there. If you are able to work and if you're able to hone that, then you will grow. But here there is a communication, mathematics and other things involved, right? So
yeah,
if let's say you are not comfortable over there, it becomes a lot of people, they start questioning it. Okay, should I go ahead with this, having more worked on the languages and taking part in this whole field? It's something at the end it gives you the return, but that's the choice at the end you have to make, that full coding or coding with your more personality and communication and
yeah,
mathematics coming in. Okay, all right. So that's something which I wanted to give you guys. It should be very clear in your mind as a fresher. If you want to start data scientist as a career, there you have data analyst, you have you join as a data analyst, and there also you have certain things which you have to go through, right? Next is when you start as a web developer, you start as a front end development, right? There also
yes,
the start of the journey is front end development. You need to have certain skills, you know. So at the core, you just have to think about whether mathematics, case study, business also interest you, or you just want to get into the core coding. If you are able to figure out that, you will get your answer at the end,
sure,
right? Now, next part, I see people have asked question about the placement process, right? Because again, their placement, it's always when you're working with companies, because Alma Better, we work with partners, right? And you can throw that light on how your journey was, right? You can talk about how opportunities and etc. worked over there. So there is a company, there is student, there is Alma Better, and that is what the whole process of placement, how it goes. Can you throw some light over there, Vishal?
yeah, sure. So first you started with the modules, like you need to understand the basic concepts, and after that there is a test A, B, CAT. And so when clearing that test, I was entered into Alma X. And in
So how
LMIX,
was it ABCAT test as a test? If I just stop you just for a minute,
uh,
how was
it
it? Like, what was your experience over there?
that test was kind of all the questions related to the topics whichever have been told in the classrooms. And if I say, uh, I guess 70, I think in that time 70% marks should be there in your ABCAT test. And I my experience was quite, uh, I can say it was good in ABCAT test. When
Mm,
after clearing that test, I entered into LMAX, where all the mentors focus on our students' uh, communication, their confidence, and their DSA. And after clearing like DSA classes and communication classes, personal growth classes, they shared, I guess they started sharing our resumes. Before that, they'll help us making our resumes and our LinkedIn profile as well. They told me how a ideal resume should look like, and how a ideal LinkedIn profile should look like. So they help in that too. And after that, they started sharing our profile. Like every day they share our profile around one or two company. And in 1 week they shared our profile around I guess 7 to 8 companies. And uh, uh, some of uh, some of the students receive callback from companies. And as I told you, as being a non IT guy, I receive a call quite a little bit less because of the non IT profession, sorry,
mm,
background. So most of the students got selected, whichever are with me, whichever are my co-learners. And one day I once I received the I guess I gave two or three interviews in in the companies, two three
mm.
interviews. And in signature I got selected. So this is all a picture about my LMAX journey.
Got it. Got it. Got it. All right. So I'll talk about a little bit from my end, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
right now, working with instructors, trainers, and the whole learning process, how it should look like, so that people
Yes.
should also understand that how we have designed it, right? What thought process we have put over there. So when you, let's say, the purpose of ABCAT at the end, right? So see, you are from non-IT background, you kind of got everything. Then at the end, the purpose of ABCAT is you go back and revise,
Yeah.
right? You go back, you revise the concepts, then when you are appearing for it, you will start finding it easy. You have attempts and etc, not getting into those things a lot, but the thought process behind ABCAT is that once you get into Alma-X, right, you will see initial, it starts with business communication. Your initial weeks are around the coding practice, right? You have JavaScript, you have
Yes.
DSA, etc, etc. And then after that, you work on few projects as well, right? You few projects which you will be working on. After that, at the end, your resume building, everything starts where you are going to give after that mock interviews. Once this whole phase kind of gets over, the overall point is this whole phase is to polish you, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you have learned, making things connected and ensuring that you are getting the confidence when you are going to appear for real interviews. It goes on for 2 to 3 months. In fact, 3 months is something lot of non-IT background they kind of take, right? Because in 2 months
Yes.
maybe your classes are over, but you have to go through that mock interview which you need to clear. So over and over again, you
Yeah.
will be guided, you will be mentioned, and then you get into the placement phase. Once you are in placement phase, now your resume will start getting shared, right? Once your resume start getting shared, you will start getting opportunities. You will get rejected, that's also there, right? It's not never going to be, very rarely we have seen that one first opportunity people have cleared it, right? They take time.
Yes.
It takes time, right? It takes one or two three rejections, and then after that you yourself start feeling confident ki, I can clear it. There are certain things which you need to tune up, right? Then you start working
Yes.
on ki, all those things, I will tune it up, I'll ensure that I'm confident over there as well. And then finally you get the placements, right? Now talking about the, let's say, some review and feedback which you guys have mentioned, I will always suggest, right, I will always suggest you have admission counselors. Talk to them, okay? Talk talk about what was the case, why that, if you are thinking, and if you have got, let's say, course is good, placement is not there, so be very specific to the admission counselor. As a founder, as a person who is looking at from the top, I'm sure that you will have certain questions you might have seen, and everything has its own side of it, right? Negative, positive, everything has its own side. Everyone has its own way of kind of having discussion and story about it. So please do discuss with the admission counselor, confirm all those pointers where you found it, let's say, little bit difficult to get through. Okay, so ये सब चीजें have a discussion with the admission counselor if you are interested. Now, Vishal, one very interesting thing I would like to cover here. Okay,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, I'm sure, if they have started in any field of tech, specifically, let's say if I talk about software development, right?
Yeah.
AI, how it's going to affect this? What is your view?
Okay. So according to my perspective, like the AI is there to help you. Like AI, like there is thing in spreading in market, like AI is taking over the jobs and other stuff, and there is no jobs in this field. But and this is not the proper thing. Like AI can do over a certain period, until a certain line, but behind that line you only need to work. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you want to design a system, like there is a system, there is a app you need to design, and you need to modify it according to your requirements, then AI can help you but cannot take full to cannot make full to full app. So this so AI will help us, like in my day to day life I use AI too much. I use like chat gpts and other things which which helps us, which help me and my other teammates as well, but this will not take the job according to me.
Got it,
Yes.
got it, got it. I understood this because, see, in my last session also, right, I was talking about data science as a field, and there also I touched this point in a, and I'll take that same stance over here. Okay, so AI at the end, see, AI is something which gives you the direction, which gives you
Yes.
something which you have given at that instance. It will give you something optimized about it, optimized understanding, code, etc., etc. But what happens when you join a company, when you are working for a company, right? There is a whole lot of context. It drills down from the CEO to the next level, to the next manager, and the person who is working. Everybody is working in a certain direction. And in the same business, two companies, let's say Flipkart and Amazon, those two companies are not same. Maybe they are in the same industry, they are in e-commerce, they are selling you all the products, but at the core of it, as a person or as let's say CEO, both the CEOs are not thinking same, right? There are different applications, there are different way of executing the same thing. There is a context behind what Flipkart thinks versus what Amazon thinks in terms of next product which should be created, and to create that product there is a whole lot of things which goes in mind, or goes in the process, right? Where humans are very much required, right? Because ultimately, Vishal, you are also building the software and application for the human itself, right? So
Yes.
you'll always put that human perspective in mind. And that is why you, as you mentioned, right, for a few things which are repetitive in a way, and which ChatGPT can do, that is at the development part it can assist you.
Yes.
But before development there is a research part as well. Always you search about, you will be given a task, you search about it, how it will happen, right? Next is, and just thinking about product manager's point of view as well, so they also think about this. Then after that it will be delivered to you, you will be thinking about how to execute this in a development phase, how, what should be the best structure of files even, right? What should be the best structure of files, at what level we should be pushing to grid, no, to get, and etc., etc., right? So all
Yeah.
those things are very human based, where you are kind of making a decision based on the scenario, which is not very generalistic, it's very specific to the company. So it will take time, right? I don't know what will happen after 10 years, right? 10 years, how every role will change. But for the near future, so it's very clear that at the end, AI will be there, it will penetrate, but there will be more research and other side of it which will get more triggered, right? Your job will be at the end more towards thinking about it, how to best optimize it, how user will perceive it, यहाँ पे बटन, यहाँ पे ये कलर, ये सब चीजों पे लोग बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देना स्टार्ट करेंगे from the human perspective. And then at the end, coding part में there will be certain help, There also you have lot of different systems different for different companies. जिस तरीके से आपका GitHub का पूरा account and everything system पूरा design होगा, that's not the same for other company, right? It's very specific to company. It becomes difficult for AI to take over the job. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I think we have covered mostly all the pointers. Prashant, I have cleared the beacon, but I have not received any update. It will come next. Whenever your next batch date will come near, team will connect with you, right, Vishal? So once
Yes.
you clear, there will be communication starting it off. So Prashant, all the best to you. You will be getting into polishing yourself. So be excited. Okay, it will take your time. It will take up lot of your effort over there, because at the end it's always difficult. The polishing part is always difficult. Initial part you have learned, but polishing is required now for the opportunities. All right, so, guys, I hope I have covered most of the questions over here, and I would like to thank Vishal for taking out
Thank
time
you.
on Saturday. I'm sure that you must be busy for whole weekend, and you are now
Yeah.
weekdays, and now here you are on weekend for helping our students. At the end of it, guys, take the inspiration. One thing which you should be taking away is your takeaway should be that as a non-IT person, Vishal started it off. As he mentioned, he got the challenges, but at the end you have to have that very clear grit in your mind. Vishal, as you mentioned, right, if you have some backup, you always have this going into the comfort zone. My backup
Yes.
is there, why should I put that effort? So if I take out the right thing from that, it's always like when you get into this, then there is no going back. Okay, there is no going back over there. You have to give your 100%, and it takes that level of commitment. It takes 6 to 8 months, 10 months to reach there, but it's all about, it's not impossible. You have to understand that. You just have to give the right amount of time to this.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Vishal. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having here. And here, next, after Vishal, Navneet will connect with you guys. He's admission counselor over here. He will talk to you. He will talk about the program. If you guys want to have a discussion with him, if you guys want to further clear out your doubts, right? Have got on one-on-one call with Navneet as well later after the session to get all those things clear. Can we learn part-time or full-time? Now it depends, Arun. Part-time, as Vishal mentioned, part-time and full-time, I would say both can be done. It's all about how much effort you want to put in. Okay, that's the core of it. As a full-time, you have a lot of time. You can do it with ease, I would say. Just you have to be disciplined enough. But as part-time, with discipline, you have to put extra effort as well, right? You need to put 3 to 4 hours on a daily basis, Arun. That's for sure. Okay, even if you have classes, of course it will go on for 2.5 hours. In fact, sometimes it goes till 3 hours as well. But post, when there is no class, let's say on alternate days, in that case you will always have to put revision, etc., etc., 3 to 4 hours. It takes time. It takes time. All right, Vishal, thank you so much. I'll also get out of the stage. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a great day. And Navneet, I'm calling you on stage. Thank you so much, Vishal. I'll just take you back stage now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out of your time.
Thank you so much, sir. I
Hey,
am
Navneet.
here. How are you today?
Navneet, I'm not able to see you.
Yes.
Now you
Am I
are.
visible now?
Yes, Navneet, you are all visible.
Great.
All
Great.
right.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you so much,
I will
everyone.
take it.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Navneet. It's a stage is all
Yeah,
yours. You can continue it from here. Have interaction with students. They have got the understanding, whatever issues they have. Please, have a discussion with them. Thank you so much, Navneet.
sure.
Thank you so much for
Sure.
taking out of your time. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.
Hello, guys. Very good afternoon. I believe you guys had a great interaction with our alumni Vishal, and also Alok sir was there, who's taking care of like the program scenarios and everything. So, good afternoon. I believe all of you are here because I also saw a few of the questions related to the course, the placements, the reviews, and all. So, yeah, I will be taking it up one on one, right? So that you get all the clarities right away, in fact, in front of you, right? So, can I get a quick thumbs up so that I can check whether all are available and, like, we can continue the things and continue our discussion. So me myself, my name is Navneet Poddar. I am a senior academic counselor over here from past 2.5 years, and yes, like I would be taking ahead the discussion going ahead. So I caught up with some few questions over here, right? So guys, like if you can highlight me those, if I believe Prince, Prashant, and also others as well who were there, in fact, like at the start of the session, right? If you can just pop up on the chat box, say hi, hello, anything else, so that I can make sure that you are available, so that you get the answer of your asked questions, right? And accordingly, like we will gonna be taking one-on-one this thing. Great to have Prashant over here. Great. Prashant, I believe already your answer was clear by Alok sir, right? Regarding the AB cat part. Apart from Prashant, others who are here, if you can just like come up to the chat box and mention that yes, you had a question and you are available here, right? So accordingly, like we're gonna take this thing one-on-one, right? So let me just share my screen first so that I can like show up the things. Just give me a moment, guys. You can put up your question, guys, whatever, like the placement scenarios, the review scenarios you are having questions with, right? You can put up there, because few of the question, like one was from Prince. Well, I was connecting through alumni of Alma Better, I found a lot of negative words about placement opportunities. Courses are good, but placement part seemed blurry. I connected them via LinkedIn to put like put some light over there. Now, before that, I would be having one question for you guys, all of you who are available here, right? So does anyone know the number of candidates appear for IIT exams every year, the JEE mains exam? Any approximate number? If anybody, any one of you has any idea of it, in India, in today's date, आज के दिन में इंडिया में कितने कैंडिडेट्स अपीयर करते हैं जेई मेंस के लिए? Anyone have any idea of it? Yes, no, maybe. Can anyone come up to the chat box and answer me this thing quickly? ये एक approximate number है, right? Which you can calculate or you can Google it, right? If you know already, you can put like the your opinion over in the chat box. I am waiting for it. For the JEE mains exam, right? For a single JEE mains exam, which is conducted every year, right? How many students appear for the, like one single time? In a particular point of time, how many students appear for it? No one knows? No one? Yes, no, maybe. Are you guys there with me? Anyone? Okay, let me just show you the data. Over 12 lakh. Yes, that's one of the nearby, right? So if I see the data of previous year 2024, there was 14 lakh 15,000 approximately. The number of students appear for it, right? Now from that 14 lakh 15,000, everyone was having a dream, right? Because clearing JEE mains gives you an opportunity to enter into IITs with a better score, right? Or into engineering colleges. But mostly, like, people have a mindset that I want to get into IITs, right? I have to score big, I have to score good, I have to get into IITs. Means there is a scope if I clear the exam with a better marks. Now, do you guys notice? Did you guys notice one thing over there, that not everybody gets into IITs after appearing for the JEE mains exam? Everybody has a wish to enter into IIT, but not everybody gets it. Why is it so? Because of the marks, because of the performance, because of the perseverance, because of the temperament, because of the preparation, right? Not 14 lakh candidates actually get the opportunity to get into IITs. Only few thousands or something like that gets a chance for it, because they have prepared it in that manner, they have cleared the exam in that manner, right? They have shown perseverance in that manner, they have shown temperament in that manner, right? That's same with Alma Better as well. Over here we guarantee placement, but we do not guarantee that you will put your time and efforts, you will complete all the modules, you will complete your projects. We do not guarantee it, because it's not in our hands, it's completely in the hands of the candidate, right? Now those who are completing the things properly and are able to clear the ABCAT test also, the examples are in front of you. That's why we arranged this session, like where you saw Vishal today, coming from a complete non-technical background, a complete BCom background, right? No coding experience, nothing. So he also mentioned at the time when he started his preparation, he at a point he thought of leaving all the things behind, right? And again move back to the insurance sector. But then he got to know about the domain, then he got to know about Alma Better, and again refocused, sorted his perseverance, sorted his temperament, and right, he got the opportunity. Why? Because he's shown his perseverance, he's shown his temperament over there, he's shown his dedication. That's why he achieved it. So at same point of time, platform can guarantee you placement until and unless you can guarantee a platform about your dedication and all those things. Saying in words verbally, yeah, it's very much possible. But providing that same things, into efforts, it's like actually is lots and lots of difficult. That's how actually Alma Better is. We over here provide you all the opportunities until and unless till the time you are showing us the dedication throughout the program of whatever things we are asking for, right? That is the same case about Alma Better. What we are actually focused on, we are focused on a community first learning platform where to get you motivated, right? We actually focus on studying peers, where not only you and your mentor or your faculty would be involved, you and your batchmates, your team members, right? Everyone would be involved so that you can cope up with the learning materials and also the projects you would be doing in teams. When you get ready for jobs, right, it's not only about clearing the ABCAT test, it is always about networking. The kind of alumni community which we have, if you will not network with the candidates, you will not get reference. We actually have a huge alumni community over here who got placed in the past 4 years, right? But not, like I will not come and introduce you with one and another. It's your responsibility once you get added to that community to interact with members, to clear your networks, to greater your networks, right? That is the fact. Things happen in both the ways, right? And that's how the things goes on. Why Alma Better? We all know there are lots of opportunities in the internet. There are lots of platforms available, but no one is asking you directly to join Alma Better. Why you can opt for it? The first is industry relevant curriculum from very basic to advanced level. You got already a reality check in front of you that how things starts from scratch here, because a BCom background candidate is understanding the fact anyone can do it, right? Because they do not get a hint of or a zing of any kind of coding background at all. Second is live classes. We do have live classes. We offer live classes, right? Now it's your responsibility if you're attending it or not. Again, a dedication part, right? If you're attending it, that's really good and great. If you're missing out on those, no issues. We have recorded lectures, right? But at the end of the day, also, when you have recorded lectures, it doesn't feel like you're missing out on things, because we have teaching assistants to help you one-on-one with your doubts on a one-on-one video call, right? And they remain available from Monday to Saturday, except Sunday. Capstone project, which Vishal discussed also, that how this project actually helps you and how this problems actually solves your queries, right? For practicing the things in and out. Also, daily doubt resolution sessions along with one-on-one mentors. That's also one of the facts. Mock interviews with a dedicated career coach. Now, once a candidate clears that ABCAT test, the Alma X journey, when it starts, a career coach has been assigned to you to conduct your mock interviews day in and out, so that in that 1 to 1.5 months of timeline or 2 months of timeline, you are someone who is fully ready and confident to tackle any of the particular interviews which is coming in front of you. And 100% job guarantee with 700 plus hiring partners, right? So as I mentioned, job guarantee doesn't means that we will like spoon feed all the things to you, right? It happens in both the ways. That is for the fact is, right? Now when you will come across that 700 plus companies, you can check it on the LinkedIn page, or in fact like the hiring patterns which we have. The companies who are hiring: Amazon, Uber, Novartis, Myntra, Vedantu, lots of product based companies which are well known for their work. They are our hiring partners, and day in and out the placements are happening. So whatever placements happen, we directly mention over LinkedIn. There is no hidden conspiracy over here. All the things are transparent. And accordingly, the salary distribution. There, when you reach a point when you are getting placed, there's a particular guarantee, because being a web developer, being a front-end developer, you have seen companies hiring a candidate for 17,000-18,000 rupees per month package, right? But over here you get a guarantee that below 5 there would not be any kind of offer. Whatever the offers are would be above 5 LP, right? And also you can see the range. Between 5 to 7, 19%, 7 to 8, 29%, and 8 to 9 is 37% of placements happening, which is making our average between 7 to 9 or 8 to 12, whatever you say. That is what the average placement packages are. When you meet your instructors and mentors, you can see where they're working. It's not like we are providing you the things from a teacher or professor who have never been to the industry any point of time. Yes, they provide good knowledge, but at the end of the day, the industry scenarios are quite different, which an industry professional will only know. You can see Neeraj Sharma working at Microsoft, Jyotirmoy working at Apple, Vijay working at Harman, right? So these are the kind of experienced professionals who actually helps you out throughout the program, right? And you get proper guidance under them. Any questions, any doubt, guys? Yes, no, maybe. Who all are there available? Any kind of doubt, any kind of question you guys have, you can tell me right away, because I also want to check if you have any kind of question or doubts or not. Because we already, like you guys are already aware of how exactly the things work out here, right? And I am sharing my personal number as well so that you guys can reach me out over WhatsApp if you are willing to know more about the program, about the scholarship opportunities, and what else is actually waiting for you, so that you get a clear insights of everything, right? And also, like, if you would be having still would be having any kind of questions or doubts related to placements and reviews and all, so let me know as well, because I am the one responsible to answer all this, because it's a reality check, right? Everything has a both side of story. We need to see both the ends, right? That is the fact. Even the simplest example is, like, whosoever is in the attendance today, right? Don't know have you used an iPhone or Apple product or not. When you find reviews for Apple product, you will see thousands of negative reviews for Apple product as well. But we all know that thousand people are not only using Apple product. Apple product is being used by billions of users, right? But might be scenarios that thousand people has faced some negative things, or don't know haven't have like had faced or not. But we have seen billions of users using it very clearly and had a very good experience that they're upgrading it later on, right? So that's scenarios. Not everyone would be happy with your product, right? At the end of the day, if you are dedicated, you are well enthusiastic, you are having good temperament, you are having good perseverance, you will get whatever things are being promised. As an example, you had Vishal today in front of you, right? Who attended the session. So that was all about today, right? I am not getting any kind of questions as of now from your side. So I believe signing off would be the best option. Any kind of doubt, guys? Any kind of question? Are you guys active? Yes, no, maybe. If I get a response, so that I could be able to see like whether people are present or not. Okay, so as there are no responses over here, I believe you guys have no questions, no more questions over here, right? So let's wrap this thing up. And I believe you guys had a great experience with us today, right? Lots of people have already left after Vishal's off. So yeah, we would be connecting one on one with you guys, and would be getting in touch with you for the discussions of every single aspects of whatever we have discussed in this, whatever doubts you guys would be having before joining the course and everything, right? So signing off for the day. Thanks for joining on a weekend, guys, and have a wonderful weekend ahead. I hope you guys enjoy this weekend and would be ready for active Monday morning next week. Okay, have a wonderful day, guys.